Hello, my name is Joseph Pirayou. I want to welcome you to today's program. As always, this is a live program, and if you have any questions and comments, especially today's program, I will be asking if you know about the subject that I'm covering more. You want to share information, I will appreciate it. Today's program is a little bit different than what I normally do here because of an event that happened in Sweden. The city, I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing it correctly, Södertälje, I believe, in Sweden. That event, I will go over that. So today, as I said, it's a little different, and I have gathered some information because I want to make a point about freedom of speech, the countries that we live in. Assyria TV is in Sweden. I'm here in San Jose, California. These are like Western countries, and they're proud of saying that, you can say anything you want pretty much. We have freedom of speech. We don't do any kind of, what they call it, against people. We can express pretty much whatever you want. But the actual subject right now is about murder or assassination, as some put it, that happened. I forgot when it was, like last week. I'm sure. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. So regardless, 1 week ago, what happened was, uh, uh, I believe he is being portrayed as an Iraqi Christian refugee, 38-year-old Salwan Momika. I think that's how the name is pronounced. And Salwan Momika was murdered, assassinated. The reason they're saying that is because of what he had done, but he was on the balcony of his apartment, and I believe from the information I have, it's that place is called Offshore or Huffco, something like that. And he was live streaming on TikTok, and I guess he went to the balcony to have a cigarette, and that's when from the other side of the building, from the rooftop, from the opposing side, shots were fired. And I guess when he was on his phone or whatever that he was doing on the TikTok, apparently you can hear that the shots are being fired, and that live stream stayed open until the police arrived and turned it off. So he was killed, assassinated, murdered, however you want to put it, and the night and that the day after, there was supposed to be uh, what they call it. He was a defendant in a case, and there was a verdict was going to be given to him and another co-defendant, same name, Salman. I don't remember his name, but there were two of them. Rome, Naim, Naim. Thank you. Salwan Naim, his co-defendant. So the night before the verdict was supposed to be given to these two, he was shot dead uh, on the balcony of his apartment. Now, what was the verdict for? What crime he had done that he was going to court and get a verdict for it? From Again, I have collected this information. If it's not correct, if you know something more than I do, last night I made a new friend, someone that I really appreciate, that spent some time talking to Shamun Zaitu. He was great. I mean, the more time I spend with people on Assyria TV, the more I love it, and I will uh, come back about Assyria TV and the impact of freedom of speech that we have, regardless if it's in Sweden, United States. But other than that, I was gathering the information. As I said, if it's not complete, if you know something more, and if you can share it with us, I would really appreciate it. So the charge was against these two people, agitation against an ethnic or national group due to repeated Quran burning protest that these people had done. Actually, Salwan Momika, I believe physically he had burned the Quran, and I believe it was March, April of 2023 during one of the holy days. Muslims, he went to the outside of the uh, biggest mosque that uh, Muslims have in Stockholm, and during the Eid of Ahd or something, he burned the Quran in front of there and agitated people, and he did that several other times during in other places. I don't know if it was other mosques or not, but that's how this thing started, 2023. So these were the charges that they were brought up against him and his co-defendant. The night before the verdict, as I said, he was shot dead on the balcony. Five people were uh, detained, arrested, I guess. And from what I have found out during one of the protests that he did, someone came and started like hitting him. They had a fist fight or something like that. And these five defendants, that these five people that they were detained by the police, two of those were friends of the guy who had a fist fight with Salman. Apparently, after they did their interview with these five people, all five were released. And as of now, the information I have is that they have no suspects or nothing that is going on with this situation. A little information about this gentleman, the late Salwan Momika. As I mentioned, a 38-year-old uh, is been portrayed as 38-year-old Christian Iraqi refugee. He entered Sweden 2018. He had other activities prior to that, and the information that I received, I don't think it's necessary to, because it's not really related to the subject that I'm will be covering. Uh, so I don't know if he's Christian, he's Muslim, he's atheist, because I'm trying to find out what was the motivation behind what he did, burning a Quran in front of a mosque. Now, we Ashuris, regardless if we have lived in Iran, Iraq, Syria, Turkey, historically we go back, we know uh, the attitude. You know, it is okay. I mean, I will cover that later on. Uh, I mean, it's if you say anything, either burning Quran, doing a cartoon on a newspaper, anything that the generally speaking the Muslim world would not appreciate, uh, it's just that you cannot draw a photo or a picture of the prophet or the imams that they have. And the history has told us, showed us that every time somebody wants in one of these countries, I remember there was a newspaper, I forgot where was it, in Denmark, somewhere in one of those Scandinavian countries. They burned that place down. They killed people there that they had. They said, "How dare you put a cartoon of uh, our prophet or whatever?" You know. So it's like I was thinking, this guy burned that uh, Quran in 2023 and he's still alive. It's like, wow, these people should have killed him right, after he did it, because the way that, so I was thinking like something is interesting about this situation, because one thing is that you can talk just the language is insulting Islam. You're telling them, your prophet was this, your prophet was that, married so many women or killed people. Uh, but actually burning that holy book that they call the holy book, that is really more like agitating. So I guess, but another thing that was interesting for me was the charge was agitation against an ethnic or national group. I didn't know Islam is an ethnic or a national, like I mean, Iran is called Islamic Republic of Iran. That could be national. Did he, by burning Quran, insulted Iran specifically, or Saudi Arabia? When you look at their flag, they have this big sword and some Arabic stuff written on it that claims, Saudi Arabia is a Muslim nation. So these are national, or because we're going to get to the part of the freedom of speech, but he was just agitation against. Like, what does the word agitation mean? Like, you're bothering me. If you want to get to the like high level, you're pissing me off. Okay, but they brought charges against him regarding agitation against the ethnic or national group. Now, I don't know what the penalty is for such a thing like that. Would it be jail, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? But from what I have found out, uh, since the verdict was due the day after he was murdered, they postponed it. I believe February 3rd, like 3, 4 days, they postponed it. And when the verdict came, they didn't say the verdict against him because he's deceased. Doesn't matter anymore what he was, what was the penalty for him. But apparently, from what I have gathered, is that his co-defendant, the other Salwan, he received, I believe, is it 1 year or 3 years? uh, 3 years probation. Yeah, 3 years probation, and the probation is pretty much like he can't drink, he can't do uh, posting, like certain things that uh, I think it would be better for him to be in jail rather than be outside and he just do nothing. But this is Sweden. I have no idea what the laws are, what is happening in these countries. Uh, what else do I know about this late Salwan? So what happened was after he did the burning, uh, there was this argument within this Sweden regarding free speech and religious sensitivity. How far can you go with the freedom of speech, burning Qurans, insulting prophets or things like that? And during that time, 2023, when the uh, Quran was burned, that was during the time that Sweden wanted to apply to become part of NATO. And the Turkish government, Erdogan, he used that occasion about burning the Quran to use it against Sweden to join. But of course, eventually Sweden became uh, joined NATO. And other things that happened because of this event was there were demonstrations outside the Swedish embassy in Baghdad. I don't know how the detail of how much damage it was done, but it was a big protest. We have some photos, I guess, from the protests that they're done pretty much in Sweden because you see the flag of Sweden over there because now Sweden is the focal point of the problem, people say you guys hate Islam, Islamophobia, things like that. Another thing was that when every week Assyria TV posts a flyer regarding the upcoming program, and when it was posted, gentleman, I think it's Eli. I didn't get his name. You can check the comment on the post from Assyria TV regarding today's program. He mentioned that uh, Salwan Momika had taken, I don't know if the right way of putting it, he had taken credit for the fire that happened at the wedding in Baghdad, Hamadaniya, I think it's that place is called. So there was a video that he speaks in Arabic, it's like a minute and a half, and the gentleman he sent me the translation. And regardless, because I believe Salwan, his background is from Kamsheli, from this general area. So after what he did, burned the Quran in like April, May, June, a few times that he did, and the wedding was the following September. He's saying they did the burn the wedding to teach me a lesson. Now I don't know how true that is, but I'm just thinking about the attitude. Like you're so proud of it. It's like trying to understand. That's what I was thinking. What was the motivation of behind this person? I don't know his personal life. Was he married? Does he have kids? Does he have responsibilities? He was individual, just by himself, doing whatever he wanted to do to create a provocation. Was he showing off? Was he? I'm sorry, ala manakhluk, but you're stupid or something. Because when that part regarding taking credit for the fire, as if like, yeah, I did this and they burned out, I have family in that wedding. Like, I'm just, I wish I didn't know. Sometimes, you look at all the Ashuris as your brothers and your sisters, but it's this event that has happened. And I just wanted to see what is going on. And the more I dug, I said, man, I wish I didn't know. But since we put that, we're going to do program about this guy, we're doing it. However, there is a point to be made, like 2 points. First, another thing about him was that after he did this, let me finish the part about his life, is that he went to, after burning this, he went to Norway. He wanted to get asylum over there. They said, no, you have to go back to Sweden. And Sweden, being nice to him, because Iraq had asked for him to be deported back to Iraq, they said no, because they knew if he goes there, he was going to be tortured, killed, and uh, so Sweden, they said no and gave him extension on his visa, I believe, and then they were waiting for him to what they call it, to get his verdict regarding the crime that he had done, agitation against an ethnic or national group. We are a national group, right? Ashuri, not Christian part. Christian is in heart. Ashur is right here. Identity. This is one of the reasons I do this program in the beginning, Ashur. It's about our identity. Agitation against an ethnic or national group. How many times have you seen when we talk about our identity, especially in our homeland? They call us, oh, you're Iraqi Christian, or you're Kurdish Christian, or you're Christian component. Somehow they want us to forget about who we are and just think Christian. Okay, Christian. Another thing I remembered is that back in 2023, when this Quran burning happened, I might be mistaken, but I remember that at least Patriarch, what's his name, Mar Ava, of Assyrian Church of the East, he wrote a letter condemning the act of Salwan Momika, and I believe the Chaldean and Syriac churches had done this. I'm not sure. I'm going back in memory, and when you get old like me, sometimes memory is not what it used to be. But I remember something like that. They condemned that act of uh, Quran burning. Let me show you a photo. Can we show that comedian? Can you put that photo only without my face? Because I want to share something with my brothers and sisters here. I want you to concentrate on this photo. Now, this photo here is from a movie that this comedian did some years back. And somehow somebody sent me a trailer, said, oh, Joseph, this is a funny movie. And I looked at it, and there's this part that we have captioned the photo is that he's walking in the museum and people are moving a photo of Christ, as you can see in that frame, and he stumbles on something, and from the back of the frame he enters, and his head replaces head of Christ and his hands. And the moment this happened, he says, oh, I will be crucified for this. Right? Now, this is portraying Jesus Christ, this photo. The guy who did it is a professed Muslim. So a Muslim making fun of the Jesus of Christians, Lord, Savior, God. When I did the program, and I was like, I wasn't expecting much. I said, does this, what is that word we use? Does this offend anybody? Some said, no, we are Christian. This doesn't offend us because, our faith is strong. And there were some that they attacked this guy's Facebook, and he had to shut down his Facebook. He got some hate text or comments or whatever that he received. And this is as far as it went. This guy shouldn't be worried about anybody coming to kill him when he's making fun of Jesus Christ, the Savior, the God, the Son of God of Christians. He has no worries. Worst that happened to him was his Facebook was, attacked. Then he put it down, brought it back. He didn't even apologize. Said, "Well, it was a movie I did some years back, so being funny." And some people made a comment, said, "Hey, Mr. Funny Man, what if you have done this to your own prophet, Muhammad? What would have happened to you? You'd be dead, tortured, dead, regardless where you live. They would have found you." But Jesus is an easy target for him. And he knows there would be no consequences. No consequence when we are being attacked. I don't think uh, there was anything coming from any of the Ashuri or Chaldean or Syriac or Aramaic or whatever you want to call these patriarchs. Anything came, letter from them, sending it to Hollywood, sending it to these uh, studios that made these movies, say, hey, we are agitated against our fate. Nothing. When I was at A&B, and I'm not saying this is what happened was the right thing, but the owner of A&B insulted Mary and Jesus. Patriarch of the Assyrian Church of the East boycotted A&B, and after that, the things went south. I was one of the first persons. I said, there has to be an apology. We have to change the policies at A&B. No more programs. I'm not here to sit and, do just insulting our faith. You don't believe in it, that's a different story. As I've said before, when I use the Bible, I said, you don't have to believe in this book, but don't change the story. So going back to the freedom of speech, going back to being educated as a nation, as a faith, as whatever, can we show what is going on in Sweden in regard to our Christian faith? So, this is based on the information I have is in one of the churches in is an exhibition in a church in Stockholm. Is that correct? Yeah. So this this exhibition, this photo that you are looking at, is the famous. No, no, go back to the that first one. Let me. Can you put the whole photo? I want people to see talking about agitation, about faith, freedom of speech, agitation about whatever. Put the full photo. I want. This is Da Vinci's Last Supper, right? They have added a dog in there, but other than that, Jesus is sitting there with his high heels and these beautiful. I don't know which one is Judas. I can't say it with the kind of makeup he has, or she has, or it has. I want to see who of these Christian entities, patriarchs that we have, this is inside the church. This is not in a mosque. They're not making fun of Christian faith in a mosque. This is an exhibition inside a church, Christian church. How about the other photo? Yeah, Jesus saves these bikers. German gang? Yeah, German gang. The oh, German gay, very happy. The word gay in English means happy. So these are German happy people that praying for Jesus. I mean, nice leather. I mean, this is in a church. How about the other one? Ah, so the person that you see in the front is supposed to be Jesus, and the guy behind him is John the Baptist. Of course, this is not Jordan River. It's some kind of a bathhouse that Jesus chose to be there and being baptized by his cousin, John the Baptist. And from what I was told is that photo goes even further down and exposes everything about Jesus. Agitation against ethnic group, against faith, no problem. You know what? Making fun of Jesus in Hollywood, every movie pretty much you see there is that like what they call it. They say Jesus effing Christ. Pretty much every movie that comes out of Hollywood. I want them to see if they do Muhammad effing Prophet. One time, if you dare, if you have the kahunas as we call it, do it. Jesus, no problem. Easy target. Now I feel sorry about Salwan, what happened to him. You don't want to die. I don't know if he was expecting it or he wasn't expecting that. I don't know. He's gone. Ala manechle. Condolences to his family, his parents, or whoever he has. But on the other side, we are here. When you look at Assyria TV, I want you to see about the freedom of speech. This is the place. Information coming regarding everything that is happening. If there was no Assyria TV, there would be no program called In the Beginning Ashur. I appreciate everybody that watches it, supports it, comments, everything. But we are at a point that what we have it should be appreciated, supported. Because the freedom of speech depends where you are, who you are. In the United States, it says, First Amendment. But when it comes the time, whoever has the power will suppress you here. We've seen it in this country. It's not that the subject I want to talk about. But we are here. Assyria TV is the media. Not because my program is there, because I have seen the value. I've seen the people here, the level of integrity, the level of honesty, the level of just hard work. That's what gives me hope. What is the hope? Ahiya Ashur Chaya. Chaya Ashur and Mabqila until next program. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Sheikhani.